Hello everyone, it's Marie and today I'm doing my 3-month digital nomad update video. I'm basically going to recap how the last 3 months has been. I'm going to talk about how I'm doing right now and how I'm finding life as a digital nomad, and most importantly I'm going to talk about how much I'm managing to earn as a digital nomad and how I'm managing to now travel full-time while working online. So I quit my job in December 2016, just at the end of December, just before Christmas. As you do know if you've watched some of my previous videos, I was put in a position where I had to quit my job. I did make a video about it, which I'm going to link up here, and it was a now or never situation. It was either get another job or decide to try and work online, which is ultimately what I wanted to do. I needed to put myself in a position where I had no choice but to earn money online, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to eat or live anywhere. So that's what I did. I just quit my job, and there and then I started working as a freelancer. I was officially unemployed and I haven't done any more regular employed work since I quit. As you know, the first month was pretty successful. I did a lot of research and I learned a lot about freelancer platforms such as Upwork and Freelancer and people per hour, and it seemed to me that most online freelancers were working like that. They were working on those online bidding websites to try and get freelance work. So I evaluated my skill base and I realised that my skills are very much video editing and music editing, and also doing things like website creating, and I have skills, you know, with accounting, so I could easily do virtual assistant jobs and that kind of stuff. So I basically just applied for a whole bunch of different jobs, and in the first month I managed to earn about £450 online. Obviously that's not enough to pay your bills or anything on a full-time basis, but it was good for my first month. I mean, I literally came into this with no experience of being an online freelancer. My degree is in costume and performance design. I worked in the theatre industry. I was also working in retail. I had absolutely no experience with working online as a freelancer, especially not in video editing. I'd never done that professionally, so to go from having a normal day job to working online as a freelancer, I was really not experienced at all. I wasn't professionally trained in any of the skill base that I was applying for online jobs with. I was just kind of evaluating my skills and applying for jobs based on my skills, not based on my education or my work experience. So for 1 month in, earning about £450 online I thought was really good, and I was hoping that from there it would go up. I was hoping that I would be able to kind of generate a more consistent online work base from there, but unfortunately my second month as a freelancer was actually really bad, and I did make a video about it which I will link here, and I talked about how I earned barely anything online in my second month. So I made an 8-week review, which was a 2-month update, and in that second month it was awful. I was feeling really disappointed in myself. I felt like a big failure because I just wasn't able to earn anything. I managed to get, I think, one video editing job that paid me like £50, and I did a few virtual assisting jobs which paid me about 100 or something. I really didn't earn much at all my second month in. I was gutted. I was feeling mostly disappointed because I knew that as of April this year I would be travelling full-time and trying to earn money full-time online to support myself, and yet I'd had a terrible second month which was nothing like the first month. So I was feeling really disappointed with myself. But then literally a few days after making that video I got myself an incredible job as an online English teacher. As soon as I passed that interview and got accepted as a teacher, I have been working full-time as an online English teacher, and I have been earning a really good wage. So my third month as a digital freelancer has been absolutely incredible. I went from a pretty good first month to a terrible second month to an amazing third month. So everyone who just kept giving me support and telling me to push past the bad month and keep going, I appreciate that so much, because you really did keep me going and keep me positive, and it just worked out in the end because I ended up getting an amazing job. So my friend actually, who lives in the US, referred me for this online teaching job, and I'm just so glad that I got that job because literally I can work full-time doing it, and the pay is great. It's $10 an hour, which is just awesome. I know that some people would not think that's great, but to me that's amazing. It's above minimum wage, which is enough money to pay rent and bills and do whatever I want to do on the road while I'm traveling. Like, it's amazing. So without further ado, I'm sure you all want to know how much I've earned in my third month as a digital freelancer. I haven't actually added it all up, so I can't tell you a precise amount, but it's around £1,000. So in my third month as a digital freelancer, I have now earned about £1,000. As a whole, majority of the money has come from working as an English teacher this month. Some of it has come from virtual assisting and one of it came from a video editing job. As I said, in my second month as a freelancer, I did get a job as a virtual assistant, and I still work as a virtual assistant for this person. The hours are very inconsistent and very far and few between. Sometimes she'll give me a lot of work to do, sometimes not much, so that's not a job I can rely on, but it's definitely a good other way of making income alongside the teaching. And I did also get one video editing job at the beginning of the month, which I did. I just think it's absolutely incredible that I went from a terrible second month to an amazing third month, and I just hope that it keeps going. I am just loving working as an online English teacher. I'm sure I've talked about this a few times, but it is just a wonderful job. Not only do I enjoy it, not only is it rewarding because you get to work with the same students every single day and you get to see them improving, but also it's consistent work. Obviously sometimes students don't book in for all your classes, but as a whole, usually if you open up slots, you will be fully booked, or at least mostly fully booked. Just love the flexibility of it. I love knowing that I can choose my own hours and my own times. It's just a wonderful job. Obviously you've got to be professional and you've got to make sure that your internet is stable, and obviously there comes with it responsibilities. You're working as a teacher and you do need to be professional and respectful, and you need to work hard. It's not just a laugh job, you know, it's not just something that you can just like do, you know, and not take seriously. Obviously it's a job, and like every job it takes, you know, you have to be responsible, you have to work hard. But it's a lovely job, I love doing it, and I couldn't have asked for a better job. So this month, in terms of work, consistent work and income, I've done great, and I now feel totally prepared to move abroad in 2 weeks and start travelling and earn money online while I do so, and I'm pretty confident now that it's going to be okay. So now I'm just going to talk about some other things that have happened this month. As I'm sure you've gathered, I've kind of dropped the Upwork online freelancing for a while. For me, it just wasn't something that I wanted to keep on doing. I'm pretty sure that eventually I will go back to the online freelancing and I'll try and get some more work via Upwork, but at the minute it just wasn't consistent enough for me. In my second month I was relying on Upwork and Freelancer, and I was applying for so many jobs. I'm talking 40 jobs a day, and I would get one job call back, if that, and it was taking up all my time writing out cover letters, proposals, trying to bid for a job and then not getting it, or being messed around. I mean, there was one time on Upwork that I spent hours, I mean days, editing a video for someone and they didn't even pay me for it, and I put in a dispute with Upwork and I didn't even get the money. They actually sided with the other person, which is ridiculous because, you know, I worked on that project and they still didn't pay me. I'm going to actually make a separate video talking about Upwork and why I've stopped using those platforms, and this isn't like negative towards Upwork, because I think that Upwork's great and I think there are lots of people who succeed on freelancer platforms, and I think they're brilliant ways of getting work, especially when you're starting out. For me personally, I was not getting consistent work with it. I found that a lot of the people on Upwork didn't really want to pay much money, and they wanted kind of to do a lot of work for nothing, and it just wasn't something I was finding enjoyable, and it just wasn't something that was resonating with me. But I'm not saying Upwork's bad, I think it's great, and as I said, a lot of my first month jobs came from Upwork and I had a great experience with it. It's just not consistent enough for me. Online teaching, however, is consistent for me, so I've decided that from going forward I would like to get more consistent clients, like my virtual assisting jobs, like my teaching. I would like to get more longer term contracts, jobs that I know will be consistent and that I will always have an income coming in, rather than just one-off jobs, because you never know when you're going to get another one. Obviously once your reputation gets up and once you get a continued client base, that isn't always the problem, but for me right now I need to know that I'm getting continuous income at the moment because I'm traveling and I need to pay for rent and bills. And so maybe eventually in time, in a couple of years, once I've created a client base and I've found out exactly what skill I want to offer people and what service I want to offer, then I can work on Upwork and getting clients from there. But currently it's not really something that I'm trying to do. I'm going to make a video talking about Upwork and my experience with it and why I've stopped using it. So I'm not going to go into too much detail right now, but look out for that video, it'll probably be posted next. So yeah, that's just, I just thought I would quickly throw that in there, that I've stopped using Upwork temporarily, but it probably won't be forever. So I'm now going to talk a bit more about the travel plans and the nomadic plans, because as we know, I gave myself 3 months from the day I quit my job to find work consistently and become a digital online worker. And now I've managed to achieve the digital worker goal. Now it's time to achieve the nomad part of the digital nomad thing, which obviously I haven't been doing yet. For the last 3 months I've still been living in my normal home, in my normal town in England, and I've been just working online, basically working from home, seeing how I work from home, and now that I've got that sorted, now it's time to be a nomad and travel. So those plans are starting very soon. We have already handed in our notice for the tenancy, and our last day in our home is the 21st of April, which means we will officially be homeless on the 21st of April. Unlike a lot of people, we don't really have the option of going to live with our parents or anything. I mean, we could stay with Andy's parents if we wanted for short term, but for us, staying with parents isn't an option, so we don't really have that safety net. For us, once we become homeless, we have to move abroad. We have to start traveling full time. We have no option to play it safe. We just have to do it. So the plan is to actually go before the 21st of April. We're hoping to be out just after Easter and living abroad as of then. So see how it goes. Andy handed in his notice at work and he is already finished now. So Andy is officially also unemployed. So he's definitely got plans to work online. For all we know, we might decide to get some jobs when we move to Amsterdam, like just to meet people, not really sure. For me, I really want to focus on working online. Oh my god, cars. My priority is to find a stable work base online so that I can be financially independent and I can work anywhere in the world. I want to have complete control over my work. For Andy, I think travel's more about meeting people and experiencing living in that place. So for Andy, he might... Oh my god, these cars. So for Andy, he might decide to, you know, get a job in Amsterdam for a few months or whatever to kind of meet people and make friends. So he might decide to do that, but as a whole, he's going to start working online, I'm working online, and we're ready to travel, we're ready to go. So we've already got a good amount in our savings account now. We are selling our car next week, which is just the biggest step of all, because that's really going to finalise it. Like, obviously we've already sold most of our furniture, we've already sold most of our belongings. Selling our car is going to be a big one because it really finalises it. Once the car is sold, that's just like no going back. Our house is already pretty much empty now, we don't have much left. We've already got our suitcases sorted out, we've already sorted out what we're going to take with us. We haven't actually sorted out a place to live yet in Amsterdam. We still don't know where we're going or what we're doing. We might even choose to live somewhere like Haarlem because it's a bit cheaper. I'm still not sure what to do because we've been considering getting an Airbnb for the first couple of weeks, but they're so expensive, and leaving it to the last minute wasn't a good idea because there's like nothing left now in Amsterdam for less than like, I mean, £80 a day, which is just shockingly expensive, and I'm not paying that. So we're really not sure what to do. We're thinking of trying to find a place online before we go there, and then booking an Airbnb for like a couple of nights in Amsterdam while we view properties, and then hopefully we can sign and move in within the next couple of days while we're living there. So we should only need to rent an Airbnb for like a few days rather than a week or two, because it's going to be really expensive, and it's just like a whole month's supply of rent for like 1 or 2 weeks, and it's just not really it's not really something I want to do. I don't want to spend that much money. And, you know, like Andy said, if Amsterdam does end up being too expensive, we could just move somewhere else. For all we know, we might find ourselves living in Spain or living in Berlin or somewhere else. We don't really know, but obviously the plan is Amsterdam, but Amsterdam is expensive, so if we can't find anything within our price range within the first week or two, we'll probably just move on somewhere else and go somewhere cheaper. I'm not sure, but we would like to experience living in the Netherlands for at least 6 months because I think it would be lovely, and it has been a dream of ours for quite a long time. Maybe we are being a bit stupid by kind of not booking it all in advance, but at the same time, all my life I've always had everything planned, and I'm just trying to be a bit more flexible now and find out where life takes me. For all we know, we could pre-book somewhere for a year and then decide we don't even like it, or we could leave it to last minute and then something amazing comes up. So I'm trying to be a bit more relaxed. I'm not being stupid. We are going there with a good amount in our savings. We've got money to fall back on if it goes wrong, and you know, if it goes wrong, we just buy a cheap air flight ticket out somewhere and go somewhere else. I mean, we have loads of choices and loads of options. I'm not kind of caging myself into one thing. I'm really being really flexible right now, which is the most flexible I've ever been in my life. And yeah, we'll see what happens. But all I can tell you is that as of the 21st of April, we are officially homeless. We are homeless, so we gotta go somewhere. Don't know where we're gonna go, but we're gonna go somewhere, and it's gonna be abroad. It's not gonna be in England. So I do not know any more about this than you know right now. I'm literally sharing everything on here with you, and I'm being totally honest and totally open, and I literally have no clue what's going on, but all I know is that I'm going to be out the country by the 21st of April, and we are going to be living out of backpacks somewhere in the world, and it's going to be fun. So follow us, find out what happens. It's going to be exciting, and I'm going to end this video here because I've been talking for ages. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that it enlightened you and showed you how I'm doing 3 months in as a nomad, and I also hope that it shows you that you can do it as well, that if someone like me can quit my job and literally have absolutely no experience in working online, and within 3 months have a consistent income of around £1,000 a month, you can do it too. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did enjoy it, please like, subscribe and share, and show other people that it is possible, because I really want to spread the word and help people realise that it is possible, because if it was not for videos like this that I watched that other people made, I would not have known it was possible and I wouldn't have even tried. So thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed it, I'll see you next time, bye.